welcome to the first in the fortnightly format of what's now my weekend roundup as opposed to my weekly roundup. Basically, I'm working every other weekend, so it's just proving too problematic to find time to do a roundup on the weekend, and I could do it on Mondays, but that kind of seems a bit silly to do a weekend roundup of random periods. Still, there's a lot of cool stuff that I've seen that I just would like to share with you guys. 40k or Games Works have been busy as always. Let's get that. We've got our first image of an actual Sister of Battle. We've seen a lot of bits and pieces going on there. A lot of cool stuff happening, but this is the first time we're seeing an actual plastic model in the flesh. The model looks really good. To be honest, I think they look really elegant and really well proportioned. And I don't mean in a proportioned way, I mean as a model. I'm not sure why it's taken GW this long to redo them, because looking at it, they're not, well, she's not that different from the Sisters of Battle we've seen. And obviously we're aware that Sisters of Battle were always going to be a bit of a touchy subject because, well, in all fairness, GW's only female army was basically nuns in S&M gear. There were some debates on whether or not that was empowering or not. Being as they've decided to go with the classic design and keep it looking amazing, I'm not entirely sure what they spent so long umming and ahhing about. I mean, I could understand if they come out with an entirely new design, and I would have been all for that as well. You know, something that's awesome and cool, yet at the same time not relegating women to sex objects. I don't think this does that either. Too much. I mean, again, you're still looking at women wearing bustiers for some reason. Boob armor is a thing, but we'll notice no combat heels, which is quite good. It's always one of my pet peeves. You get the men in a particular universe running around in normal shoes, and then the women in the universe running around in combat high heels with boob armor. Which is a ridiculous thing in a fantasy setting to sit there and go, well, that's not realistic. But, you know, I kind of think in a fantasy setting, you kind of have to be a bit more realistic and a bit more believable, because you're doing something so unbelievable in so many other areas. However, I've got to admit, she looks good. She looks fantastic. She looks kick-ass, and despite the fact they've incorporated some of the old, despite the fact she looks similar to the other ones, and they have incorporated boob armor and things like that, she doesn't look particularly like she's some sort of a sexist or wank fodder for incel fanboys, which is basically, I think, what we wanted to GW to avoid. So, yeah, that looks good. Hopefully that means the Sisters of Battle will be up and running as an army soon, because I know a lot of players out there who have a lot of loyalty to that army and a lot of intent of playing that army more than any other, really. We've got more from Forge World. If you've got more money to spend, than I do, some more White Scar stuff coming out. Again, looking really meaty and really nice. Yeah. So that's there for people who've got a bit of a bigger budget. And that's really cool. The exciting thing, at least for me, coming out this week is going to be where are we? These little fellows, they've been previewed by Forge World. They're coming up for order next week, the Halflings and Heroes. It says they're for a Forge World preview, which makes me a little concerned, but well, the Forge World's coming up next week, but I'm hoping the Halflings are still going to be Forge World. They're going to be still going to be GW, but Forge World's sort of put that treatment in, who's not particularly exciting. But we have got these guys, which will be extras for the Halfling team, which look really nice, and I'm really looking forward to. Halflings are a definite fan favourite. If you play in the meta, they're suboptimal in the main game. However, for the stunty cups, they're quite good, and they're a lot of fun to play. They're a very enjoyable Very enjoyable bunch of guys to bang around on the pitch with. So if you're not looking to win, they're a great team. We've got some more stuff from Necromunda. We've got we've got Cal Jericho, and he's going to be available hopefully next week. And we've got Scabs the Half Rat Skin, who's another awesome little model that's going to be available next week. GW aren't the only ones with some Blood Bowl stuff coming out. The Grebo Games Kickstarter for Primal Scales, Primal Scales, Reptiles, and Savage Women for Fantasy Football has just come out. So that's their Kickstarter for. Here you go. Basically for the Lustrian continent. You've got the Lizardmen, which are from the Lustrian continent, and you've got the Amazons, which are from the Lustrian continent, which look really good. We saw a lot on the boards about the lead sculptor asking about poses and saying what she thought was good, and asking opinions of what we should put on of what she should put on the models and what we thought she should put on the models. So that was really nice to see a lot of feedback being gathered directly both from Grebo Games and from the artist, the sculptor herself. So that looks really good. First 24 hours, a limited pack will be available. You get that dude with a chainsaw if you're quick. I'm not sure if we passed the first 24 hours yet. We probably have. There you go. You can see there's a lot of cool bits and pieces on there. A lot of really awesome looking Saurons and Skinks. Frankly, I'm sure GW sculptors could do something, but I can't see what they could do that looks more awesome than what we're seeing there. We've got the special characters coming in, like we got these guys coming in, and the frog people coming in, which are awesome as well. And that's a whole nother team. Multiple head options for the long tongue option. So we've got Lizardmen and Slan and Amazons. And here we go. Here's the Amazons looking amazing. Which, so there's 3 teams on this Kickstarter. You're going to have to pick which ones you want and what you want to pay for. And you've got some awesome stretch goals there. So check that stuff out. And you have to go right down to the bottom, but they've made it clear how you get what you want and what you tick and what little add-ons and Amazon things you can get there. Number sets, there's specialist balls, there's counters, there's loads of awesome stuff as we've expected from Grebo Games. Always, you've got the cards and that for your players. So yeah, hop over to the Kickstarter and check that one out. There's a couple of other awesome bits and pieces. Nothing too intense. We've got some cool stuff from D&D. We've got a Kickstarter here from Reroll, which Reroll customize your D&D characters. It's an app they're doing, so you can basically get customizable pixel art. That might seem a little odd to some of the young players, but some of the old players, it was literally how we got our characters drawn. A lot of us started off on the computer games side with Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, and all of our character drawings were in very pixelated 16-bit or less things. So it's really just a cool way of having your character represented and being able to show what you've got and give your other players an idea of what you look like. Fantasy Grounds are on Kickstarter as well. They're a bit like Roll20 from what I understand. I haven't used Fantasy Grounds myself because it is a pay-for system. But it's a system where you can create big, complex maps that you can share with your friends and you can play with them. And they've got a Kickstarter going there. It's not cheap, but for some people, the sort of internet play systems are some of the best ways to play. It's supporting 2nd Ed, 3.5, 4, and 5e. It doesn't say it supports 3rd Ed, which is odd. It supports 2nd and 3.5, but not 3rd. Admittedly, 3.5 and 3rd are pretty much the same, so I can't imagine anyone playing third that doesn't play 3.5, but there are a few people out there who are purists. That's 64-bit support, loads of cool stuff there, and advanced dice support and things like that. It's not particularly cheap, but it is cool. Oh, if you can wait, I'm just going to pause it a second because I've missed one. I'm just going to pause it and upload a page. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Additional thing which I found really cool. A lot of you who've seen previous episodes will know I go mental for the non-standard D&D worlds. Arcadia are bringing out a fifth edition campaign setting, which is basically, sorry, I say Arcadia, which is basically the mythic Greek setting for 5th edition. So if you want to play Perseus, you want to play Odysseus, you want to play pretty much everything up to the Greek gods, they've got a Kickstarter coming out, which looks really, really good. It's looking at about $75 here, but you've got a bunch of, over 20 new character feats and new backgrounds, class archetypes, races and sub-races. The Fedrian, who are born of Fabler, the Satyr, the Siren, Harpies, and even Gorgon lineages, which should be really, really cool. If you're looking to play some D&D with a little bit of twist, if you're a Percy Jackson fan, if you're a Jason and the Argonauts fan, if you're a fan of the old Harryhausen stuff, that should give you a load of really cool stuff to get in there and have a lot of fun. Got some fantastic artwork of a giant Medusa with boobs out for some reason. Not sure why the boobs are out. But yeah, they've included ships. They're including ships and naval warfare, ancient trinkets, wild ruins. You've got some music there, an expanded bestiary, an illustrated bestiary, loads of extra bits and pieces you can get. Sirens, mermaids. Basically, if you've ever watched the Greek myths and legends films, of which there are a ton out in the 70s and 80s, which were really good. The original Clash of Titans, which is much better than the newer ones, is fantastic. The Jason and the Argonauts, a lot of really awesome films out there, which provide some really great inspiration. There's the new ones, the new Clash of Titans, Immortals, which I didn't think was much cop, but there were a few gems. As I say, Percy Jackson, the 2 Percy Jackson movies, kids movies obviously aimed at teen kids, but still actually quite good movies, good action adventure, reasonable plot, and lots of smashy with giant monsters, which I always like. The 2 Clash of the Titans were okay, and of course we've got the 300 and the Spartans and stuff like that, all of which was based in Greek history, but is easily tieable into Greek myths and legends and mythos. So there is a lot of stuff out there, a lot of inspiration out there. So if that's your thing, if that's what you like, check out the Arcadia Kickstarter. Okay, that's it for this weekend's roundup. Hope I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and hope you enjoyed. Bye. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter. Not sure why, but I am. So if you like it, see me there, and please tell your friends. Thanks very much. Bye.